platform. Those of you that are returning and those of you that are new, welcome to my platform. My name is Astraea Love, and I am going to be doing a reading for you guys today. So I hope everybody has had a good day. Please know that my readings are timeless, which means whenever you get to this reading, there's going to be messages in here for you, okay? All right. So we are going to start this reading by calling upon the Most High God and the Holy Spirit. We are calling upon the divine realm, our spiritual team of highest light and resonance, and we're asking that the archangels, our spirit guides, our ancestors, and the beings of love and light put a protective shield around us, keeping us safe from all negative interference, influence, and impact. I pray for the highest light, the highest wisdom, the highest knowledge, and the highest truth to be revealed to me and my collective, and I pray for my subscribers. So make sure that you guys subscribe. Make sure you like the video. God, please, let's get this platform to a place where it is steady and where we can reach as many people as possible. God, thank you for all of the likes. Thank you, higher self, for all of the likes, the shares, the subscribes. All of that helps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All glory, honor, worship, and praise goes to the Most High for everything that I do and everything that's done on this platform. And I have another platform for those of you that are interested that is called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle, okay? And on that platform, I use oracle cards and I use tarot cards to do readings. So I suggest that you watch each of the readings on both platforms at your leisure, okay? I would go through the descriptions, and whichever one you feel drawn to, watch that one. That way you're using your intuition. And that's going to help guide you towards, personal Easter eggs for your own spiritual journey that's going to help you decode things and help you spiritually progress. That's what these readings are for. So take advantage of them while they are here, okay, you guys? All right, so by watching my videos, you are agreeing to the contract of being in control of yourself and responsible for yourself and with any of the information being channeled. That means if I talk about anything in the realms of legal, follow up with a lawyer. If I talk about anything in the realms of health, follow up with a health practitioner. Okay, before you apply any advice from any psychic or any tarot reader to your life, just be responsible with it, okay? Don't bully me. Don't bully anybody in the chat. Don't bully anybody in the comments, okay? Because I will literally report it to God and have it blocked immediately. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion on this platform, but what is not allowed is for people to sit around and religiously condemn other people. And if people don't like me, they can go somewhere else and watch somebody that they do like that allows religious hypocritical shit and judgment. Okay. Because over here, it's not going to go. So I'm going to talk about two books before we get into the reading, okay? Why I'm talking about these books is because I feel like they are going to help you. And when people ask me, how do you do what you do? Well, I've always been psychic, which means my abilities, my third eye growing up, was just always open. I spent my time out in the yard talking to fairies over wanting to hang out with other kids, okay? So I've always been very, very connected psychically to things. And what was missing, because I was raised in religion, was an authentic, real connection, or basically a connection to God, higher self. Everyone's higher self is God. And so I didn't have the connection part, but I had the abilities part, which made me feel like I was being trapped in the psychic realm for the majority of my life, having all of these experiences that were ESP and like that type of thing, and not knowing what it is, not knowing how to explain it, not knowing how to even understand it, and having only religion as a lens to look through, which, I was in the Catholic Church, so I don't have anything bad to say about the Catholic Church, just that it didn't foster a real relationship with my higher self God. It fostered something else with some other type of higher dimensional being, but that's neither here nor there. So since I found out about The Truth of God by Steadman, again, the links to these books are in the description box below, I have had a complete turnaround as far as my life going in the right direction, okay? So before I was just allowing my abilities to work and, warn me if something is going to happen, but I was not, using my intuition the way that this book teaches you. So this book is extremely valuable, okay? It's cheap, but it's extremely valuable. I'm going to talk about 3 techniques that I use every day that changed my life. The first technique is the God technique. The God technique allows you to raise out of your ego into looking out through the eyes of your higher self, which is a huge jump in consciousness, you guys. But it gives you the ability to see things from a higher perspective so that you can detach and look out through the lens of unconditional love, joy, mercy, compassion, and peace. Okay. And so when I first started doing the God technique, it was like my consciousness was here and I had to jump way back up here. The more that I do the God technique and integrate it, the less that distance becomes. And that's the best way that I can like explain it to you. So the God technique, game changer, changes your frequency, allows you to tap into God, to looking out through the eyes of source, looking out through the eyes of your higher self, so you can see things as they actually are, get the bigger picture of them. The second technique is the joy versus anger technique, which gives you the ability to ask yes and no questions and have open communication with your higher self, God, so that you can be receiving immediate guidance, so that you don't have to be like, should I go here? Say a prayer and wait for a response. No, this is like before my life, when I was just making random decisions, I was hanging around with people I shouldn't have been around, making choices that I don't regret them because it led to me to where I am now. But my life would have been way easier had I had this information when I was like younger. So now, before I purchase anything, before I go anywhere, before I do anything, I ask yes and no questions. Very simple. Should I do this? And when I'm asking the question, I'm keeping in context that, is it for my highest and best good? There are some lessons that we can just avoid learning by not having to go through it, by making a better choice. So the joy versus anger technique is more accurate than muscle testing or using a pendulum. It says the scope of you, God, you consciousness is infinite. All of your creations are particles of consciousness within your God mind. Your creation is never outside of yourself. It is always here and now within you, God, just like the human you closed your eyes and imagined all of it in your conscious mind. So you are God having this experience, not an extension or a part of. You are God not existing in the fullness, but God no less. Okay. And so this is going to teach you how to meditate. It's going to teach you how to ground your energy. It's going to teach you how to pray, use prayer, cleaning out your temple for physical health, cleansing the emotions, your frequency, creating your own reality. I'm just like skimming the book and looking at the different, why don't I feel like God? What we are always creating. We are always creating. What are we choosing? Creating boxes. From our true perspective as God, this three-dimensional universe is only made up of our conscious essence, unconditional love, joy, compassion, and peace. It is only the false perceptions, concepts, and beliefs that we have brought into our creation/universe that make it appear otherwise. Okay, so the third technique I'm going to talk about is the mind technique, which gives you the ability to use the joy versus anger technique, a yes and no answering system, so that you can go through your belief systems. It says, as the joy versus anger technique was the most important and useful intuitive application in the book, the mind technique is of the same importance level, but designed to clear the negative mental/emotional baggage and beliefs that we are dragging around, which are influencing the reality that we are experiencing. That way you don't keep pulling in the same type of experience, okay? So for those of you that want the cheat code to creating your own reality, to connecting with God, to tapping into your power and your abilities, this is the answer. I've always had the abilities, but I didn't have this knowledge growing up, and I wish I did. So the link to this book is in the description box below. Oh, thank you, you guys. The second book I'm going to talk about is the book that I've written. It's called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. And this book has got different tarot card spreads for each of the major arcana cards. And the major arcana cards are the big transition cards. So all you need, this book is going to help you. It's designed to help you read cards for yourself and read cards for other people. So if you're wanting to learn the tarot, I suggest that you get the original Rider-Waite deck. That's what this book is written off of. That's RYDERWAITE. And go ahead and just invest in getting the cards that have the descriptions on them. That way you're not having to have a whole separate book that you're flipping through or trying to memorize because I feel like memorizing the interpretations, that will happen over time as you use the deck. But like having the words there is a good guide, because you can look at what the words are on the card are and then see, okay, I feel drawn to this sentence. Okay. So let's see. So I have different tarot card spreads for each of the major arcana cards. So I'm going to read about the Emperor Tarot card spread. And then with the tarot card spread, there is a spell that you do with God and the Holy Spirit that helps you integrate and manifest the major arcana cards. So the Emperor is number 4. Answer is yes. Zodiac is Aries. The Emperor is the master of his own emotions. The Emperor is the natural born leader and conqueror of mankind. He rules justly over the group of people. He represents the perfect relationship between father and child. The Emperor is the card of personal authority, willpower, and self-control. Defending those who are weaker, the Emperor is beloved by all for the responsibility that he takes for others. With great power comes great responsibility. So pull one card for each position. Position 1 is the lower ego of the divine masculine archetype. This card will reveal insight into your divine masculine energy. How awakened and enlightened you are may be shown to you in the card for this position. If you are a natural leader, that may show through the card that you pull for this position. Your south node, lower self ego, is the part of you that is still asleep. It is If you are stuck in your south node, the card that you will pull for this position will give insight in how to get unstuck. If you pull the Emperor card for this position, you will know that you are no longer in your south node. If the card that you pull, and the south node is where we start out at in life. Our north node is our destiny, and our south node, and this is something that you guys can map in your birth chart. But if the card that you pull is a yes card, you can rest assured that you are balanced in your divine masculine energy. Remember, we hold both divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us. What makes us divine is our ability to free ourselves of karmic energies by healing the self through self-love. Position 2, higher self, ego, divine masculine archetype of the Emperor. This card position will show you your north node masculine energy. This means that you will gain some information on how your divine masculine energies are affecting your creation. How connected are you with your father may be shown to you here. If you have received information about your divine life purpose, that information may be confirmed by the card that you pull for this position. If you pull the Emperor card for this spot, you will know that it is a good omen and a double confirmation that you are in alignment. Okay, and then the Emperor tarot card spell is to obtain powers. Let's see. The Hierophant spell is to manifest lack mindset into nothingness. It's a form of void magic. The Lover's tarot card spell is to draw love into one's life. The Chariot tarot card spell is to remove obstacles. The Wheel of Fortune is to manifest good luck. You guys are getting what it's about. The Hangman is to sacrifice things that are no longer serving you. The Death card is to bring about appropriate endings. Death is not always a physical death, but just like an ending, which is the closing of one door, the opening of another. Temperance is to manifest with Archangel Michael. I invoke, draw in, and evoke, draw out the sacred blue flame, the will of God of Archangel Michael. I call upon Saint Michael, the Archangel, to bless and protect me, my family, and my home. I give you permission to intercede on my behalf and on the behalf of my loved ones. Please come to my space and help me to clear my energy. So that's like a manifestation technique. Okay, and then in the back of the book, I've created a compendium of knowledge of what it could mean when you're doing a reading and you start to pull more than one major arcana card out next to another. It absolutely, I don't have these books in audio, but I suggest that you get physical copies of them. Okay, so let's see. The Emperor tarot card. So whenever the Emperor is pulled, it is an indication that whoever is in question is a divine masculine. If you pull the Emperor with the Magician, it means that someone could be using magic to stay on top or to get on top. If you pull the Emperor with the Lovers, it could mean that the divine masculine is about to enter your life and that this person could be a divine lover, soulmate, or twin flame. If you pull the Emperor before the Empress, it could mean that you have a connection to royalty in your blood or whoever you're reading for does. When the Last Judgment tarot card is pulled with the Emperor, it could indicate that you are dealing with someone who is either a judge, a lawyer, or someone else of high status working with the courts or judicial system. If you pull the Emperor and then the Hangman tarot card, it could mean that you are dealing with someone who is a boss in their own right, but they may throw you to the wolves, so be aware of that. If you pull the Emperor and then the Death tarot card, it means that the person in question could be in danger or a negative influence in your life. If you pull the Strength card with the Emperor tarot card, it means that your power is unmatched and that you are pulling in your equal in either a business partner or a personal relationship. If the Hierophant tarot card comes out with the Emperor, either before the Emperor or after, it could indicate that you're dealing with a spiritual boss or that you are a spiritual boss who is being guided by the Most High God. And then it just keeps going and going and going. But you guys get the gist, okay? This is called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. The link to this book is in the description box below. This one's called The Truth of God by Michael Steadman, and the link to this one's also in the description box below. Oh, and just to let you guys know, let's get the likes up, you guys, please and thank you. If any of you have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question. Okay, that is the way that I'm making myself available. I'll set a 20-minute timer, so try to make your questions as precise as possible. Okay, and I will answer your question. And I would try to do it also at the beginning of the reading, so that these readings, why I'm setting the timer is so that they don't get too long, because I know that not everybody can sit down for like an hour, 2 hours, you know, and it's even hard for me sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, make a pee break, because I'm always drinking water when I'm doing these readings. And I suggest that you guys drink water as well. Every time you watch one of these readings, you're connecting in with your higher self, which is changing your vibration, which could be pulling up toxins or lower vibrational energies to be released and detached from and cleansed and healed from. Okay. So now I'm going to cut the deck. So what I got as a message for you guys, thank you guys for liking the video, subscribing, tapping the notification bell. Thank you for your donations, your support, your love, your kindness. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please like the video, please and thank you. Tap the notification bell so that you know when I go live, and make sure you're subscribed. So I'm getting that, like, there was a lot of chaos going on before I started the reading. And I felt like, okay, why is, like, obviously I think that phones are telepathic devices. Why do I say that? How many of you guys have had the experience where, excuse me, you're thinking about something and you've not said it out loud to anybody, and then you go pick up your phone, whether it's like Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and that certain thing you just thought about is there, like a video about it or some information about it. That happens to me all the time. And now I don't even get surprised by it because I know how these things work. They are telepathic devices. But yeah, my feed was bringing forward all of this, like, violent energy and just riots and stuff like that, and craziness, and I would just consider it to be chaos. So what I was getting from that message, which I'm incorporating into this message, is that staying neutral when it comes to things, you don't have to take a side. Sometimes taking a side will put you in a position to where you're going to be shit out of luck for something. So sometimes it's like, I would say most of the time, if you can stay neutral to things and not go over one side of the fence or the other, I think you'll be fine. And I think that our lifetimes, why we have so many, it's teaching us how to become neutral to things, you know? And so that was the message that I got. So if there's like any type of crazy triggers happening, or you feel like you're being provoked or whatever, it's like I feel like everything that's going on in the media and stuff has to do with a distraction to keep us away from focusing on going within and connecting with source, Christ consciousness, God, and from going through an ascension. And I also feel like the food we eat distracts us from that. But then I also look at that and go, okay, staying neutral to it, not getting upset. Getting upset is only going to hurt you. Sometimes we think like, oh, I'm so mad at them, I'm going to get upset about something, but it actually isn't hurting. Like it's what I've heard a really good saying. It goes like this. Being angry, rageful, and wrathful is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Okay. So that's why, you know, letting things that come across your awareness, if they trigger you, find a way to be neutral to it. That could be releasing beliefs. It could be letting go of personal viewpoints. Whatever it is, it's going to help you. Page of Wands. This is like something that you guys could be teaching your children as well. You know, how to stay neutral when you're living in a society or a world, I would say, that is trigger based. How do you stay neutral? Well, having a connection with God is going to help with that, because you can start to look at things by doing the God technique. You can start to look at things the way that they actually are, through the unconditional lens of love, joy, and peace. And everybody has their own side to a situation. And so I feel like taking sides is like putting more of a wedge in between people than it is bringing people together. Okay. And I feel like this is important to talk about, because what type of influence are we being upon our children? If we're taking sides in such a drastic way, what is that going to do to affect the next generation? I mean, hopefully the next generation or the one after that is going to realize that we had it all wrong by taking sides and throwing fits and stuff. But I feel like, you know, a lot of you guys will avoid tragedies just by minding your own business, not taking sides, and not like rioting, not like protesting. Okay. And I'm not telling anybody not to protest if they feel like something's been done bad. But I am saying that if you want peace in your life, teach your children how to become neutral to the things that are happening. So you're not allowing war to be going on outside of you and war to be going on inside of you at the same time. Because again, like I said, chaos. It was just chaos energy. That's what I was feeling. And chaos is not inherently evil. It's all it is just like people not being in their right state of mind, because the influence of chaos takes over. Okay. And so, yeah, you could be teaching your children, instilling, however it is, values of them to be more compassionate, more merciful, more caring, more forgiving, and not to their detriment, but just so that they can stay neutral to situations, so they don't get sucked into danger. Because what I feel with the energy of chaos is it's danger. It's dangerous when people get together and they start throwing, riots and stuff like that. That can be very dangerous. So we want to keep our young people away from that type of thinking. And I think the best thing is to be a leading example by you not getting triggered by the stuff that's meant to trigger you, Like there's nothing that we can do about the files and the lists that exist right now. Like as a people, there's nothing we can do individually. Staying neutral to that, staying neutral to all of the stuff that is going on. I think that that's kind of an important thing. And that's what it was showing me. Neutrality equals sanity. It equals peace. It equals being able to detach and looking at things through the lens of unconditional love, joy, and peace, and being that love, joy, and peace. The High Priestess just came out. You could also be like, if some of you don't have children yet, you could have been an intuitive person, this High Priestess, since you were a child, just like me. Like I was definitely a very psychically active child, but I didn't know how to describe what I was going through because I didn't understand it. I also get that it literally says on the card, and I don't always read the words on the card, but it says, let others overreact while you remain calm and sure of the outcome. Wow. Okay, so basically it's double confirmation of what I'm talking about. Literally, if somebody wants to pick a fight with you, argue with you, condemn you, throw rocks, hide their hand, cry wolf, just literally be neutral to it. Don't take it so personally. Some people are just really messed up. They have a lot going on and they want to project. Sometimes all it is, you guys, is that something within you reminds somebody else of who they could never be because of the choices that they made. Two of Swords. So whoever this, I feel like whoever this person is, this behavior, it's being blocked. I also get that, you want to teach your children how to stay open to change and not to be resisting the flow of time and change. You know what I mean? And if any of you have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question and I'll pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question. But yeah, the Two of Swords is like being denied something. It's like, it's also about, the inability to accept the truth of the reality of whatever situation. So when I look at the Two of Swords, I don't see that this is an external blockage. This is somebody blocking themselves through their foolish choices, their actions, their betrayal of society, community, and laws. There are certain laws that exist for a certain type of reason, and we can't change the laws just right off the bat because we don't like it. There has to be some grace and mercy with that, okay? And try to follow the laws to the best of your ability. All you can do is do the best that you can do. Like that, and Spirit's not going to ask you to do anything other than the best that you can do. But I feel like You teaching your children or your other family members how to be neutral, how to not take a side, how to not engage in gossip and slander and low vibrational behavior, and what is it, like telling on your neighbor, whatever, allowing people to be who they are and not challenging that. I think that there's a lot of respect and honor in that. Temperance, because your gifts and abilities and your intuitive nature is literally what is keeping you safe. I also get that this Sagittarius Archangel Michael energy is you using your gift to discern things and then to create balance within them. Okay. I'm also feeling a tugging on my crown chakra. The crown chakra has to do with trusting God most of the time. Has to do with trusting God. So maybe there's something about this situation about being neutral that's causing you not to trust, or maybe you're feeling it's hard to trust, and you are God. Everyone's higher self is God. So going within, that's why the kingdom of heaven is within. It's not going to be on the outside of us. I mean, we can shape the world on the outside of us by going within and shaping the world on the inside, tapping into God's energy, which is love, joy, compassion, and peace and mercy and all that. We can do that, but and then the external world would change. And that's basically what the God technique is teaching you to do. That's why I suggest getting that book, because that's what I'm doing to create a peaceful world. So when I have stuff like being bombarded, whether it's my phone or whatever, that's showing me that things are not in alignment, then I start to ask questions. Because I was like trying to come on and do the reading, and it was like stopping me. And I was like, what is it? What else is it that I need to look at? And it was just multiple things. I feel like we're living in a society where a lot of people are very unhappy with the current situation. And I don't know. I mean, it seems like in the past, people were unhappy then, people are unhappy now. Hopefully in the future that can get better. But I feel like you guys using your abilities, teaching your children how to stay neutral, how to walk away from an argument, how to not engage in being only one-sided. I feel like that is a strength. And sometimes we get so attached to like our race, our culture, or whatever, that like we forget how to be a neutral person because we're so ingrained in a certain type of perspective of way of living. But knowing that the soul is infinite and that we're having multiple experiences as all different types of cultures, all different types of extraterrestrials, all different types of star beings, all at once. That's what our higher self is doing. And so I feel like the more that we tap into that energy, the more we can stay neutral and not get taken out of our peace, because peace is like a really important thing. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. Trusting the divine is important, because things may not happen when you want them to, but they will happen when they're meant to. And sometimes the universe shows so much grace and mercy on us that we just keep making the same choice that's hurting us over and over again. And then eventually we get slapped with a consequence, you know? And for example, like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, eventually you're going to get hit with some type of consequence. And if you don't, then you're very, very fortunate. And so I feel like, and I'm not talking bad on people that smoke. I know people that, I know that Native Americans give tobacco offerings and stuff like that. But like, I'm just using that as an example, as because there could be any type of habit or behavior that doing too much of it could lead to, sickness or something bad, something that we wouldn't want to experience. And that could have been avoided had we not engaged. So I feel like a lot of people are going to understand what I'm talking about. People that want to take a certain point of view and stick on that, and they don't want to see anybody else's point of view. Those are the people that are very ignorant, that are stuck in one way of thinking. 5 of Cups, and it's going to leave them in regret, because I think that just about everybody's perspective has some truth to it. And so I don't think that we can condemn anybody because of their perspective. But the more neutral you stay to your own perspective, the easier you're going to be able to look out through, because there is oneness, looking out through the eyes of your neighbor as somebody else and seeing things the way that they see. Looking out through the eyes of an animal, seeing, animals are some of the best teachers of unconditional love. Like that's why they're so healing. So I get that you could be dealing with somebody that's disappointed in a love relationship or a friendship. The 5 of Cups talks about grief, loss, like sadness, the end of a marriage or relationship. I don't feel like this really has to do with you. I feel like it has to do with this person. Yeah, or a valued possession. Maybe this person has lost somebody that they consider to be their possession. Again, that's weird. Um, hmm. Eight of Swords. Jail. What the hell? What is this? Spirit, what is this? Two of Swords, being blocked, heart closed off, causing your own problems. There's nobody else in this picture other than this one person. And why are they blindfolded holding the swords like that? Straight up, like, why are they completely blinding themselves? Then we have grief, many regrets, setbacks, loss of a relationship, loss of a friend. Then we have prison, Eight of Swords. What? Prison? What the hell? Jail? What is this? This Eight of Swords is the jail card. That's like somebody going to jail. Yeah, it talks about somebody being very overwhelmed by personal issues, domination and restriction, forced into living by others' rules, feeling trapped and thinking that there's no way out, living in fear. Indecision and priorities may be causing this. Okay. So yeah, solutions do exist. The answer requires queer. There may be something about somebody being queer. I don't know. I was going to say clear. Says the answers require clear thinking and compromise. I feel like being neutral to everything, regardless of what you think the Bible says, what you think stay neutral. It's going to help you stay in peace when you're not picking a side and picking things apart. Because the worst thing that could happen would be that you do pick a side, that side ends up losing, and then you start to see all of the other side like of the situation, and then you feel like a dumbass and that you've ruined something. So that's why I feel like clear thinking for this person, that needs to be their priority. Releasing delusions. This person's got priorities that are out of whack, like things that are not really a priority, they're making a priority. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, you were born with these gifts and abilities, this talent, these roots. See the city in the background? That's like having connection through your root system. It's also about an inheritance, a gift, a large sum of money. So what is this about? It also says somebody tries to keep all the money for themselves. Maybe somebody was being really greedy with your energy and really greedy with, I want to say, your natural talents and abilities. Maybe somebody was wanting to, I mean, it's not possible for somebody to steal something like that from you, but they can try to copy you, but still, if they're not meant to do it, they're not going to be rewarded for it. This is also talking about you having a soul contract and an agreement being reached with the Most High and with Archangel Michael. This is why you're protected. Two of Wands. You're over here looking at the globe, making plans, okay, starting a new business, starting a new company. You could be going back to a business that you abandoned, going back to a company, whatever it is. I feel like this could be something like a platform. It could also be a content creation thing. It could be design. It could be web design. It could be like anything like that. It's something creative. But I also get that you're going to have to commit all of your, using your natural gifts and abilities, you committing all of your energy to these new projects is going to be important. Just for a time. Then you'll be able to like relax and stuff. But I get that getting this up and going is the most important thing. Don't stick your neck out for somebody that is not even taking care of themselves. Okay. Hold on one second. Sorry, you guys, I'm just getting rid of this one person. They need to go. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. So anyways, they tried, but I'm that guy. I love that. Literally, what I'm getting is that you're over here commanding the respect from other people, and like whatever this is that you're getting ready to do, you know, it's going to be long lasting. This could be a dream that you had since you were like a child that's actually starting to come true, and it's coming through for you. I also get that you could be getting messages that could be seemingly conflicting. And I feel like looking at it through the eyes of neutrality is going to be very important. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, because you have money coming in. Like, this is what I get, is that, you know, your creative ventures are going to lead you to success. And this success comes from the divine. It's in divine timing. It's because you're using your gifts and abilities to help the world. This other person, they're being restricted because they did something that was illegal, is what I'm getting. Strength. Yeah. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. I really appreciate you guys so much for being here with me. The strength. This is like, see the infinity sign above her head? I feel like the strength that you have when it comes to your business and your work ethic is like, you may be underestimating. For example, okay, I went to Las Vegas a while ago, and I had no idea how much walking would be involved in that, right? If you've been there, you know, okay, how much walking. But until I was put in the situation to where I had to do like walking my feet freaking off of my body, doing so much walking, I had no idea how long I could walk, like how far I could walk. So until I was put to test with being there, literally, I realized that, wow, I can walk pretty far, especially with a backpack and other stuff. So, you know, I feel like this strength that is coming through is something that's being put to test, and maybe you didn't realize that you had it, but now you're figuring out that you do, and you're just like making a decision to do something with it. Like, and I completely love that. I also get that, well, you're being shown as a strong, supportive one. Yeah, this person is feeling wounded. Like, they feel like they're permanently wounded. I don't know. I don't necessarily get that from them, but I do get that whoever this person is, they don't want you talking. They don't want you talking about whatever they've done. I also get that this person is experiencing some type of emotional, physical conflict and setback. Could be because they're one-sided. No easy answers, but inner strength is needed. This person's looking at you being like, how come they're so strong? Like, yo, God is why they're so strong. Like, why would anybody even question that? Like, literally, when you use your intuition and your connection to God every day to raise your consciousness and your vibration, you're going to be in the energy of strength. Okay. Five of Pentacles. This person could be going into jail and losing a home. I don't know who they are yet, but they'll come out as one of the face cards. Yeah, they're in the Five of Pentacles, feeling wounded, financial ruin, the loss of a home. They need to seek help from some other institution. This person could be unemployed, or they could be about to be fired. I mean, if they're going to jail, they're going to get fired for not showing up to their job. What else do we need to know about this? Also, you know, support is lost from family and friends. I feel like this person, they have done too much. They did just a little bit too much, and now they're in trouble for it. Okay, what else? I also get that this person is not, do not lend this person money to get out of jail. Okay, it like just, you know how it's called like bonds? Like people will get a certain amount of money to get bail bonded out. Be aware of this. If somebody is calling you from jail and wanting you to bond them out, if you bond them out, they're not going to go to their court appointment, which means all of the money that you spend for the bond will never be returned to you. And you could be held responsible because you paid their bond. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it works. So I feel like, yeah, you cannot trust this person. I feel like you can trust God, but you can't trust this person. And you've been getting signs about this person, whoever they are, that they're untrustworthy. Death. Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting worse for this person. Yeah, it's an ending to their job, an ending to this cycle of being maybe manipulated or, yeah, leached off of, convinced. It's not your job to take care of another person. It's your job to take care of you. Unless you have children, then it is your job to take care of another person. I'm not really picking up that that's what's going on here. I get that you've always been an intuitive child. You could sense that this person is close to disaster. They're about to, wow, the Lovers. I mean, we are coming up on Valentine's Day, I think next or this coming Saturday. But again, if you're not watching it in the real time, just know that there's energies present. So the lovers that's a good energy. The strength and the lovers, okay, that could be existing love in an already created relationship. It could be close friendships. It could also be, I mean, the lovers talks about an important decision must be made about your life to move forward. But whoever this person that is either in jail or they're going to jail or whatever, yeah, just be aware that they cannot be trusted around any type of person's spouse. That's what I'm getting, which you guys have already figured that out. It's saying for a relationship to work, you must leave your parents. It says that on the card if you guys are in that type of situation. I'm also feeling like somebody is trying to frighten you, okay? Maybe they're trying to frighten you out of a love relationship so that you'll be with them, or maybe they're just trying to frighten you into making a decision. Again, I would be like really going over contracts and not making any type of foolish or rash decisions at this time. Don't make decisions from a place of being emotionally one way or the other. Just get to where you're neutral and then be like, show me what is for my highest and best good. I feel like if you're beginning a romance, maybe this person, they want to take that from you. They're not going to be able to do that. I don't care what type of plan they have. This is divinely protected. I also get that, there could be somebody new coming in, which is also divinely protected. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. You get weird text messages and calls and hacks shit daily. Yeah, I have a bunch of messages that come through that are like advertisements, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, just ridiculous. But yeah. Okay, what else do we need to know here? I get that, you're entering into a period of good times. Like, there's not going to be a whole lot of distraction. That's why tuning out of the chaos, tuning into your own stuff, is going to help. And yeah, I would still, you know what, this person in jail, if you really care about them, maybe write them letters. I know that they can write letters. They can talk on the phone. Letters are something that somebody could read over and over again that could be very encouraging. But I also get that you don't need to get involved in what's going on here. Just prepare yourself, okay? If this is somebody that's like getting out of jail soon, or they're going to get out of jail, make sure you're taking this time to prepare yourself, okay? And this person's got bad karma. I don't know what they did, but they've got a lot of bad karma. The Two of Swords being blocked, the Five of Cups, the end of a relationship, friendship, partnership, whatever. The Eight of Swords, prison and jail. The Nine of Swords being wounded, which I don't get that they're actually wounded. I get that they can heal from this, okay? If they would just like get with the program, and this is why I really feel like it would be more beneficial if the prisons offered some type of positive therapy, and maybe they do have something like that. But, inspiring people to become more educated, happier, living a healthier lifestyle, that type of thing. Things that are just actually good for people, like yoga is a very good exercise that you can do that will stretch your body. It'll help you ground your energy, help you meditate, help you gain control of your breathing. I mean, it's just a great tool. Again, anything that you see in spirituality is a tool. You use it until you don't need it anymore. And hopefully you evolve to the point where you don't need it anymore. I feel like you could need to detach from somebody that's going into jail or somebody that's in jail because you didn't do anything to put them there. So yeah, somebody had to go to jail for hurting you. Wow. See, exactly. You didn't do anything though to put them there. They did it to themselves. Yes, I am mantra helps. Om, doing the sound om over and over again. Yeah, you guys are showing up the star. And this is the new age of Aquarius. So see how she's pouring those two different waters? That's like, I don't know if your love life, whoever you're going to be with is famous, or you're about to be a famous couple or something like that. That's how I would look at those energies. Can I get clarification on the star? Yeah, the star just reaffirms that there's a strong love between two people. That will dramatically change the trajectory of your life, basically. Interesting. I hope this person can get it together and do something with their life. because it looks like you've already done something with yours. Page of Cups. This could be the energy that's actually in jail. That's what I'm getting. I knew that they were going to come out. And I think the pages could be, even though it says male on the card, there's no female page energy. I think that this could be a male or a female. But the traits of this person could, you know, maybe they need to enter into an artistic field or something. Doing something creative, being inspired by something. I think inspiration's such a good thing. It really is. Yeah, it really is. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. The Chariot. Police. Hello. The Page of Cups, the Chariot. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. This person could be getting locked up, or they're already locked up and they're being treated bad by the other inmates. You know, this is going to cause this Page of Cups to learn how to grow up. There could have been some type of addiction thing going on here. That's another reason why I'm being told to tell you not to give them, not to bail them out or give them money. Because this person's got bad karma. And that's not me judging. That's me seeing what these cards are saying. You don't want to be inviting homelessness, poverty, negative karma, and somebody that's got a lot of demons into your house. Okay, I can tell you that. Nine of Pentacles. You want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Sometimes it takes people going through a really hard lesson, and it's very unfortunate. It really is. It's very unfortunate. But sometimes it just takes them having to go through an experience to where they're going to change. And sometimes people have no intention on ever changing. The Three of Wands in the reverse. This person that's in jail could have followed some really bad advice. Their ideas are being rejected. Decisions made too hastily. What was I saying about not making rash decisions? Unsound business judgment. Bad luck sneaks up on them unexpectedly. That's like the definition of bad karma. Money or investment may be lost. That's a warning, you guys. Don't invest in this situation. Withdraw from unimportant arguments. Save your strength and energy for the most crucial battles. That's what this person needs to understand. They can't fight their way out of this situation. I also get that, like, whoever keeps trying to vamp off of you is getting sick. Wow. And this is why, like, people get shown so much grace and mercy in life. Like, I think that I sometimes, like, I feel like God is, like, too merciful, too loving, too graceful. But that's just my human perception being tired of something, you know what I mean? Which is not actually accurate. God is a timeless energy. So it's like the grace that this person has had over their life, like, they did a lot to get in the position that they're in. If you just come bail them out and set them free to their own vices again, this person's going to make this a worse mistake than they made the first time, and then you'll be held responsible. And when the bounty hunter comes looking, they're going to break your door down and have a warrant to go through your shit. Like, especially if they think that you're housing this person. So this is why I feel like whatever this is about, just let this person face it. They have public defenders and stuff like that. Do not put yourself out of your own abundance to help this person who put themselves in this situation intentionally. Well, maybe they didn't intentionally think they were going to get caught, but they did. Okay. Two of Pentacles. You may get a message or a phone call from this person being in jail. I feel like whatever this message that's coming to you, it's more of a divine message. You may be getting a confirmation that you made the right choice when it came to this person. Like when it came to not investing in whatever this person was doing. Because you're not going to be this person that's being put in judgment, judicial system, jail, whatever. The police are not looking at you. They're looking at this person. And I feel like this person wants to take the focus off of them and put it on you somehow. And this person could be even planning to set up their own family members, like, so that they can get out of having to go through whatever this punishment is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not your, what is that saying that they say? I forget. It's not your something. It's not your game. Yeah, this is not your fish. This is not your game. This is like, don't take on the responsibilities of other people at this time is what I'm getting. Even if you love these people, again, you setting them free so they can go make the same. Yeah, not your battle, not your fight. Thank you so much, Tyrone. That's what this is. It's not your battle and not your fight. And I feel like this person, they will learn, but I don't know if this person's meant to be a part of your life forever. Because I get a psychic vampire energy from this Page of Cups energy. Like whoever this person that's in jail, I get literal energy vampire. Like, sign of the cross, that shit. Like, I don't really believe that that keeps vampires away. But you know what I'm saying. Like, this person's giving me vampiric energy. Queen of Cups. And this person sees you as being somebody who's a nurturer, down to earth, a healer, practical, loving mother, kind, beautiful, perfect wife, loving mom type energy, loving father type energy. We take the gender out of tarot because we have both masculine and feminine energies. But yeah, you're not going to just be like, oh, anything you want, anything you need, like this person thinks that you are. Because again, they want to get out of trouble for something, and maybe they've been allowed to get away with getting out of trouble for something for a long time. And I don't want people to be in trouble, but I do want them to make safe decisions. King of Wands. Interesting. I get that this could be this person's father. Yeah. You know, if you're not with this father or whatever, I'd be like, instead of calling me, call your dad. If I was the mother of this person. Unless you're with the dad, then I would be like, no, don't call the dad. But I do get that, you know, this younger person took some horrible advice from their parent, and now they're in trouble. That's what I'm literally getting. And maybe this parent's being looked at through a lens by the police because they helped this child commit a crime or something. Empress in the reverse? What? No, that's not good. Who is this energy? Okay, it could have been two people that influenced this person to make a bad decision. Infertility, sterility, fear and anxiety, trouble at home. Interesting. Personal and relationship problems due to extravagance and overspending. Yeah, this King of Wands is married to, or they're with, an Empress in the reverse. Somebody that's got psychological problems and is obsessed with material belongings. Yeah, this person, this Empress energy is causing this King of Wands to lose a lot of property, a lot of possessions. Like, could be dirt bikes, ATVs, cars, whatever this is. The Hermit. And you're over here minding your business, going within. I literally love that. Happy Monday, you guys. Or whatever day it is that you're watching this video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So yeah, the Hermit, it's talking about going within and finding your own divine light and the answers to life's problems. You're making decisions cautiously, especially when it comes to your future. You want to be able to remain somebody that can stand on their own 2 feet and not be disabled by another person, okay? Six of Cups, regardless of what memories you have of them. And I do get that this is like a mother looking at their child and being like, damn, I tried to raise you to be better than this. But I also get that this could be you looking back on your own life and being like, I've always been intuitive, and realizing that. I also get follow your heart, not the crowd. That says that on the Hermit card. Follow your intuition. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. Yeah, follow your intuition, follow the instincts that you naturally have, and listen to the messages that you get from the universe. When you see an animal popping up in your face, okay, whether it's like, or you see, you know, crazy weather, whatever it is. I always look at animals being around me as a huge message, like, and I always pick up on what nature is trying to tell me. So I feel like, you know, there's always a warning before the hubris of the fall. And this is the warning. It's just that let this person figure it out on their own. Hangman. Because you don't need to be this person's sacrifice. The age of Pisces is over. This is not the time to be like trying to sacrifice another person to get out of trouble. And there is no like, oh, it was this other person's fault. Whatever this is, you had nothing to do with, you didn't even know about it. So I don't feel like, and if this is a friend, this friend's not going to pay you back for trying to get them out of jail. Stop. Okay? Please. It's not going to help. I also feel like it's not your job to fix everybody else's problems. 8 of Pentacles, because this is all this is trying to distract you from you doing your work. God is blessing the work that you create with your hands. I feel like somebody wants to disrupt that. And maybe they're not purposely doing it, but they are doing it inadvertently by trying to cause you to go through something that you don't need to go through. So it's like you could just sidestep this, and it says on the Hangman card, instead of trying to control and manipulate others, just leave people alone. Like, that's my best advice for these people, is to just mind their own business. See, you know the positive effects that come from you minding your own business. This is why you're able to do the work that you're doing, because you're not involved in everything else. And that's why I was talking about this message being looking at things and being neutral rather than taking a side, which taking a side could put you in danger. So being neutral to it. If you can be unconditionally loving to everything, but then still don't accept bum behavior from people, like you can choose what type of environment you're in by choosing the environment within yourself. It'll reflect outwardly. 7 of Pentacles. This is a turning of the tables, I should say, for this other person. Things are not going in their favor. Like, I literally get like somebody's, like, I also get this Empress in the reverse and this King of Wands. All of their hearts are going to be weighed metaphorically, okay? And I don't feel like they're going to pass whatever this is. So this is a turning of the tables. Maybe this person was a tyrant to you. I feel like whatever you do for a job or your divine life purpose has to do with, it doesn't have to do with the justice system, but it does bring justice and truth to others. So you could be a truth teller, you could be a prophet, you could be a singer, you could be like an artist, an actor, you could be a poet, very skilled person, electrician, anything that's a major skill that helps other people be at peace. I also get that you have a divine contract for this work that you do. Maybe you're a reader or shaman or healer or something like that, or practitioner, or you're getting into that, but you have a spiritual contract there. And I feel like there's not going to be a get rich quick overnight thing. It's going to be a progression. Just think about like how long it takes to have a baby. Like, to give birth, you have to grow that baby, that seed that's planted, for 9 months. And then it can be mature enough to be, I don't want to even say harvested, but you know what I'm saying? Like, to be brought into the world. Think of your projects and your work like that they are your baby, okay? And so every time that you invest in loving your baby, you're investing in loving what you do for a living, or what you like to do for a hobby, even if you're not doing it for a living. But I feel like the more that you guys put both feet into what you truly want and stay neutral to other people's opinions, that's going to help you achieve like world-renowned success. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause the collective reading and I'm going to answer Boo You 7-1's question. Okay, so what caused you to have so much mental turmoil? Okay. Well, I'm definitely getting that it's an influence. You know, why am I seeing violent video games? Maybe there's some type of influence that is affecting you. So what I would ask is, like, when do you feel like the mental turmoil started? Do you feel like it's something that's been with you your entire life? Or do you feel like this is something that, because I am picking up on another energy, and this is the energy of some type of entity that's messing with you. Yeah, I can definitely feel that. But sometimes when you go through like a major trauma, what that will do, the low vibration of it, when it doesn't get healed, it will attract in a lower vibrational energy that also went through that trauma or causes that type of trauma. So interesting. Well, what I'm getting, you feel like it's a grown one. Okay, yeah. It's gotten so bad for the past year. Interesting. Yeah, you get violent, intrusive thoughts. Yeah, those are not your thoughts. Anytime that happens, I would be like, I cancel and rebuke these thoughts in the name of Jesus. What's going to help you is getting The Truth of God by Michael Steadman, going into establishing the joy versus anger technique, which gives you a yes and no answering system, then doing the mind technique, which is in the back of the book. And that helps you clear negative mental and emotional thoughts and baggage, so you can start using your mind like the tool that it should be, rather than your mind using you. But I do get, I was just hearing it hurts. There's something that hurts. So, okay. I'm looking at a timeline here, and I'm seeing that there was something that was major that triggered you. And I'm kind of picking up that it goes a little bit farther back than just a year. Like I'm getting like a year, maybe 6 months. Yeah, what you watch and listen to and what you feed, because again, consuming things, you have to think of that we're mentally consuming things like thoughts. I also get that you do have the ability to pick up on what other people are thinking. And then when you get around people and you can pick up on what's going on in their mind, it starts to make you feel sick. But yeah, I also get that whatever it is that you're feeding in is having a negative effect on you. And it could be your own thoughts. And that's why getting the truth of God, that's how I've been able to gain control over my mind and my thoughts. And when I have an intrusive, see, when you have thoughts coming in threes, like the entity is not going to think you should do this. It's going to think, I want to do this. Okay. Because these things, well, this is not even a human thing, so I don't even want to compare it to anything because it's not human. But yeah, let me ask why this is here. Yeah, there was something that happened, and I feel like it happened, you know, a little bit longer than a year ago, a year and 6 months maybe. It's in the first trigger. If there's any type of self-harm thoughts, those are not your thoughts. I'm texting the other psychic so that we can get rid of this thing. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay. So I was just talking to the other psychic about it. We got rid of this thing, this non-human entity thing, but what we picked up on, so I felt that there was a trigger a year and a half ago. When the other psychic was looking at it, he went back to like 3 years ago. I don't know if you were at a friend's house, drinking alcohol, playing violent video games, but those are the three things that kind of came forward. And so it looks like, well, we got rid of, there was two entity things. One that was at your friend, you went to a friend's house 3 years ago or something like that. It was at this other person's house. Whatever it was that you were doing opened a door, and then another one came through. And that second one was the one that I picked up a year and a half ago that was influencing your thoughts. Okay. And so, um, there's something about the combination of either playing games, it could have also been drinking games, but I did get the alcohol was something that was influencing it. And so I feel like yeah, I feel like not to look at alcohol like it's something that's bad, but look at it, because what I was shown was you opened a door with your ability. You didn't know that you did that, but the combination of where you were at, the alcohol, and whatever you were doing, and whoever you were around, it opened a door. So we closed the door. So if you could just, you were watching scary movies, but they were fucked up. So that's another thing that, when you put your attention on things that are like, well, scary, like if it's something like demonic. But I got that this was like a non-human. I don't know how to even describe what type of entity it was, because it was not ever human, and it wasn't a demon either. So, but still, yeah, it opened up some type of door. So we closed the door. So as long as you don't like, because we were also picking up that there was like, you're not feeling safe in your root chakra. And I feel like believing that the thoughts that you're having are your thoughts. I really want you to get the truth of God and do the techniques in this book. Okay. So that you can get rid of these thoughts and make a connection with God, so that, when you build your own inner connection with God, you raise your frequency and your vibration, your consciousness to a point where these lower things, even if it's a higher dimensional being, it cannot affect you. And so I feel like, yeah, not putting yourself in positions. I would stay away from watching like I love scary stuff. I love horror stuff, but I've also had a lot of crazy, scary experiences, but I don't have a problem with the demonic realm, okay? And they don't have a problem with me. And so, um, where this was like a non-human thing, but not a demon, I don't know how to explain it. Just, it's like one of these spirits that has been around forever. Maybe it has a name, maybe it doesn't, but it just roams around the earth, jumping into people's bodies at like opportune times. And I feel like, yeah, it's part of it had to do with the person that you were around, something that they had going on, and then part of it had to do with whatever you were doing that was had violence in it. Because I specifically got violent, and then not listening to these thoughts that you have. Not listening to these. No, he doesn't need to repent. Stop saying that. I'm gonna fucking block you. This is not about repenting and making a bad decision. This is about literally you putting yourself in a situation to where you opened a door to something, and you unknowingly did that. Okay. And so now that you know that, if this were to ever happen again, I would abstain from either watching scary demonic movies, okay? Because it's all has to do with your belief system. I would steer free of whoever that person is as well, because they have something going on with them. There's so many intrusive thoughts. Yeah. Yeah, so get the truth of God, work through the thoughts. I want you to start realizing you are not the thoughts though. The thoughts, hold on, let me get rid of this person. Sorry, you guys. Give me 1 second. I gotta put that person in timeout. Okay, there we go. They're gone. So yeah. Yes, if you're constantly saturating yourself with chaos energy, you tend to take on that chaotic essence. Yes. But we did pick up something with the root chakra and the third eye, and I feel like you do have an ability to read people's minds. That's why the third eye is open. I also feel like maybe when you were a child, you went through so much stuff that you had to learn to read the room. I feel like that also has to do with it, because you've been sensing. The thing is that when the entity sends a thought like I should harm myself, I should do that, it sends an energy and a thought vibration. It's like a thought form, and then it's in the form of I should, not you should. So, but it's gone now. I feel like anything that's left over will be stuff that you can process and deal with. And then look, doing the mind technique and the joy versus anger technique and the God technique, those three things will help you rise above this. It'll help you heal. It'll help you start using your mind like the tool so you can get rid of these thoughts and beliefs, because these beings, they can only do things within what our belief system is. And so the more that you get rid of the beliefs, it's going to help. But I do want to pull a couple of cards for you. Okay. The voice of the heart. I silence the fear in me. Yes. And discover the voice of my heart. The fruit of these words guides me. I trust the song of my soul. My intuition leads me on the path of light. So yes, listening to your heart. And you know what? That was so great. Listening to your heart and not what your mind is telling you. If you could, yeah, you always felt like you could read your dad's mind. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But when you read somebody else's mind and they have some messed up stuff going on, and I think that's part of what could have happened with this friend, is you were picking up on their thoughts. Do not allow those thoughts to saturate yours and influence yours. And then if you do have a thought that is like not a good one, I would not give any energy to it. I would literally do the mind technique, question the thought, and have your mind get rid of it. Don't give any energy to it, and do not associate with you being your thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. Become like, the God technique helps you to become the observer of your thoughts. But listening to your heart is going to be a very good thing. Positive action. Yeah, just not engaging in low vibrational stuff, I think, is going to save you. Also, if there was alcohol 3 years ago, that was another influence. The word alcohol, like the Hebrew version of the word, whatever it comes from, means body-eating demon. And that they call alcohol spirits for a reason. Yeah, if you're feeling guilty, again, I would be questioning, why am I feeling so guilty? I'm not getting that there's anything that you have done that's horrible, okay? I feel like that was that entity's intention, was to try to get you to judge yourself and sabotage. Yeah, staying in your heart, positive action and success. So yeah, if you take positive action, I'm telling you, the answer is getting the truth of God. That's how I escape these types of problems. But yeah, success. I grow and thrive in the universe. I discover the purity of my heart and the higher wisdom that guides me towards victory. I direct my thoughts towards clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within me. I am free now and I succeed in my life. Yes, that is so helpful. Yeah. And if you are feeling blocked, there's obviously a thought or belief about that. Okay. That you are blocked, that you feel blocked, and so that's why examining the mind, that's what's going to shift the reality within you and on the outside of you. That's how it works. Positive thinking. So, you may want to learn how to meditate. The truth of God will teach you how to meditate. You may want to learn how to I think that affirmations are very powerful things. And so you can start, you getting the positive thinking going so that you can get out of where this trapped consciousness. I feel like your consciousness has been trapped. So you can get out of that energy. You know, the positive thinking, affirmations, what that does is it starts putting the mind and the energy towards that certain thing. So you may start saying an affirmation about yourself. I am safe. I am safe. I am love. I am peace. I am joy. You may start saying those, and it's just words at first because it's head knowledge. You know what those things mean, but do you feel them right off the bat? No. But the more that you affirm it, the more that you're taking your consciousness and your intention towards manifesting the essence of what that is. That's moving towards God. It's like God is all the things that are good and positive. So it says, my life is full of small patches of light. I direct my thoughts to that which brings me well-being, thinking about things that are healthy, that are good, okay? I place what is weighty, that guilt energy you're feeling, from me into the hands of the universe. Little by little, the light awakens in my being and I find serenity. So positive thinking is going to help. And like I was saying, a really good way to start positive thinking. I also suggest that you search on YouTube Esther Hicks, ESTERHICKS. Okay, she channels a consciousness called Abraham that talks about how to like use the law of attraction to be in your vortex so that you're creating things that are in alignment with your higher self. There's a lot of teachings that she has that will really benefit you when it comes to getting back control of your mind. When you know that that you can focus on something positive, that's what your free will is. Free will is your ability to choose what you're going to think next. You can focus on something positive and start to manifest that. I feel like you going within, listening to your heart, tapping into the love that's in your heart, focusing on that. If you have like a family member that you love, you can focus on them. If you've got like a pet that you love unconditionally, focus on that. And then just start moving all of your essence into that unconditional love. Inner work. Yeah, God brings me ideal situations for my inner healing. Like, don't think that you're a victim to things. Know that things are happening. Yes, they're happening to you from your perspective, but they're happening for you. It says, as I become aware of my weaknesses, I turn them into strengths. I direct my thoughts towards the light and see the positive side of every situation in my life and every stage of my life. Darkness turns into courage. Thus, I get stronger. So, yeah. And that card was called Inner Work, which is basically you doing the inner work, going in and healing, releasing. I would just literally, when you get the truth of God, do the mind technique, and I would just include what the subject of what you're getting rid of and clearing is anything that had to do with the situation and those entities, and anything that has to do with opening a door. Because I get that, yeah, you know, you're very psychically sensitive. That's why the third eye chakra was one that was very active. So just be aware of what you're digesting, whether it comes to any type of content or any type of news that's triggering. Be aware of what you're taking in digitally and from TVs and stuff like that. Okay. And, yeah, not opening doors to whatever the hell that was, because that was like some really negative shit. Those beings were designed, I don't know how, but they were designed in a very negative way. Like it almost feels like there's some type of archon gatekeeper, and I do feel like you have an ability that you've had since you were a child, and that keeps attracting these types of things. Okay, so let's get one more card and see what else it says. But also, you know, getting sexual stuff very triggering. Yeah, you don't know why. Well, I would be asking your thoughts, like, what am I thinking that's causing this situation? And then, you know, not judging yourself, removing judgment from the equation. I feel like that's a big thing that entity was trying to get you to do. Just keep judging yourself. The path to light. I make the conscious choice to move toward the light one step at a time. I transform my weaknesses into strengths by mastering my thoughts. I overcome obstacles with positivity and acceptance. I develop my gifts and extend my light to every being unconditionally. Yeah, that's your inner work is doing that. I also feel like you need to understand that you are the creator of your thoughts. and becoming an observer, doing the God technique, raising out of your ego, becoming the observer, it's going to be so much easier to shed whatever this is. But I get that you taking positive actions, taking actions to meditate, whether you're using a mantra, sometimes you can get into a meditative state by doing art, by coloring, by getting in a groove, by literally sometimes just turning on the bathroom fan and just sitting there and quieting the mind. And you're just focusing on being still and quieting the mind and allowing your awareness to expand. You can even just do a meditation where you're focusing on your breath. I mean, by you taking it's going to take this positive action that I'm seeing here. It's going to take positive action on your part to get this moving in a different direction. I'll just say that, but it will be very successful. And this positive thinking, you adopt, like I would literally look up Esther Hicks on YouTube and start watching her videos. Start, instead of like digesting stuff that is toxic, like not just physically like alcohol, but like also media, violent games, violent movies, whatever it is, like instead of digesting things that are fear-based, move towards things that are love-based. And I'm not saying you have to watch like love movies or anything, but try to be as neutral as you can. And focus on, Esther Hicks, she's got a great platform. I would watch all of the readings. You'll learn everything from the readings on this platform and my other one. But literally, Esther Hicks has got a very good platform, and she is really good. Anything that you are working with, you can take into that type of, it's like knowledge about how you're creating your reality with your thoughts. But I get that it's just going to take, listening to one of her videos, listening to one of my videos, that is what's going to get it moving in the right direction. The truth of God is what's going to solve it completely, because it is your reality that you're creating. We were able to get rid of those, whatever they are, archon-like beings. And we're able to close the door. But I feel like for you to have a complete turnaround and to get things to where you're like mentally stable and healthy, it may also help you to get a therapist or a counselor, and start talking to that person as well, instead of bottling up everything inside of you. Okay. Or expressing it through art. That's another way. You want to basically transmute the energy. And I feel like, understanding that Spirit's bringing you these situations for your highest and best good, for you to heal, that's going to make it easier to heal. Let's get one more card. Return to heart. So returning to your heart. It was 2 times with the heart, which is the voice of your heart. Listening to that instead of listening to the voice in your mind, knowing that whatever that communication is not you. That's going to give you the ability to detach. And then do the mind technique, so you're getting rid of the beliefs that you're thinking that are causing it. But return to heart says, I breathe light and stick to the essential for my soul. The present moment. Yeah, when you can stay in the present moment, that really helps. I calm my thoughts. I focus on my heart and find space to be. Where my light and greatness are, I find peace and inner silence. So that's basically what I was talking about. So you returning to your heart, listening to your heart instead of listening to these thoughts, that's going to help. Getting a counselor or therapist, that's also going to help, because there's a lot of very sound things that are in therapy. And then also, there may be the need to invest in your ability to read minds and stuff like that. Invest in mastering this empathic ability that you have, because you do pick up on other people's stuff, okay? Belief. I'm telling you, it has to do with your belief. Oh my gosh, get the truth of God. The link to it's in the description box below. I believe in myself, the beauty of life, and the goodness of God. Thus I have the power to fulfill my dreams. The will of the Almighty supports me. My life is showered in divine light, and my heart opens up to the power of the universe. Boom. There it is right there. So start believing in yourself and start writing positive affirmations. When you get the truth of God, you can do the preemptive strike and write down everything that was attached to this situation and everything that you were thinking, and then do the mind technique with it. It's going to get rid of that so that you don't ever open one of those doors again. And knowing that you can open doors, okay? Knowing that is a very powerful thing. And so if you could just start turning the process around and start opening positive doors. You know what I mean? That would be a really good blessing, especially if you're somebody that is able to open portals, which is kind of what I'm picking up on. Doorways, portals, almost the same thing, but yeah, I do get that you have that within you. Okay, good. I'm so glad. So thank you guys for making it to the ending of the reading. Please like the video. I am going to talk about the 2 books that are in the description box below. The first one is The Truth of God by Michael Steadman. It's an intuitive living workbook, and it's got 3 techniques that are life-changing. Okay, well, it's got way more than just 3, but the 3 that I use every day. The first one is the God technique, which raises you out of your ego, so that you are looking out through the eyes of God. And by doing that, that raises you above whatever situation's going on. So you can be seeing things through the lens of unconditional love, joy, and peace. Supreme consciousness God you is so vast, so great in magnitude that it is able to experience all it has ever created from the first creation, godlike being through all levels of expansion. God's creation is ever expanding. This is to say that the consciousness of which God is capable of reaching a limit is incapable, of reaching a limit because of all this creation described in the story of God is only a small aspect of its consciousness, its being. And yet any part of that consciousness is God. So even the smallest of anything that you could imagine is God. There seems to be separateness from our limited human perspective, which is how you want it to be, but there cannot be because everything is consciousness, which is God. So it says, you are not a spark of God, you are not a child of God, you are not like a God, you are not a God one of many, you are not going to be a God someday, you are God now, having this experience. So it teaches you so many things. The God technique allows you to get out of being stuck in the ego and whatever you're going through. So you can be looking out through your true perspective. It says, from our true perspective as God, this 3-dimensional universe is only made up of our conscious essence, unconditional love, joy, and peace. It is only the false perceptions, concepts, and beliefs that we have brought into our creation and universe that make it appear otherwise. So all of that stuff will go away when you become aware of that. So the joy versus anger technique gives you a yes and no answering system with God so that you're always in communion. And the more questions that you ask, the better your life is going to be. My life before using the joy versus anger technique, I would have to be like waiting for signs or whatever. Joy versus anger is getting an immediate answer back. And it's more trustworthy than like muscle testing and a pendulum. So it says, as the joy versus anger was the most important and useful intuitive application in this book, the mind technique is of the same importance level, but designed to clear the negative mental/emotional baggage beliefs that we are dragging around, which are influencing the reality that we are experiencing. So get this book, you guys, The Truth of God. It is truly life-changing. I've always been psychic, but all of that information is the stuff that was missing. Like when I was a child, I wish I would have had access to it sooner. So the second book I'm going to talk about is called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. This is the book that I've created, and it's based upon the original Rider-Waite deck, Riderwaite. And so I suggest that you guys get this deck. The one I would just search Rider-Waite deck if you're wanting to learn to read cards for yourself and for others. Get the Rider-Waite deck with the instructions on the card, because it just makes it so much easier when you're learning to, like, because every card in the tarot deck is a different state of existence that you will go through while being a human. There's like, that's just the way it is. And so it's a really good map on the human life. So I've made different tarot card spreads for each of the major arcana cards, which are like the major transitions, but I've also created a 14 zodiac tarot card spread that you pull 2 cards for each of the zodiac signs, and one card is your north node, which is your destiny, and the other card is your south node, which is where your ego's at, so that you can be looking at things through that lens and integrating the energies of the zodiac. And then the psychic tarot zodiac spell that you do with the card is to connect with one's destiny. So I'm going to read, let's see. And the Magician's tarot card spell is to manifest your own magic. I'm going to read from, let's see. I think I want to read from the Star. That might be in the back. The Lovers is to draw love into one's life. The Chariot is to remove obstacles. The Wheel of Fortune is to draw in good fortune. And you can use these tarot card spreads and spells over and over again. and still pick up new information. That's the beauty of it. I would record the readings that you do for yourself and for others. Justice, where are you, Star? You must be in the back. Temperance, to manifest with Archangel Michael. Oh, there is a star. Okay. Okay, so the star tarot card, number 17, answer is yes, zodiac is Aquarius. Each of the major arcana cards have their own zodiac that they're associated with. So this is the card of inspiration, insight, intuition, and hope. Any dreams for the future will come true. The gift of prophecy. Contact with someone who will dramatically change your life. Predicts a long love between two people, entering into a period of serenity, joy, and satisfaction. A calm period of contemplation or meditation. Deja vu, good dreams, psychic downloads from the universe. All emotional needs are met. Use your spiritual gifts and or share your good fortune. So you'll pull one card for each position. The first position is the Aquarius position. The Aquarius is the divinity of being, most known as the water bearer. Water represents spirit and God. This card will reflect how in tune one is with the natural evolution of one's spiritual self, how well you flow with time, and what your element may be shown to you in the card that you pull for this position. Rumors, gossip, and other chatter about your personal or social life can be seen in the card that you pull for this position as well. If you have any humanitarianism in your future, you will pull the Strength Tarot card for this position. If you pull the Star Tarot card for this position, then you either are an Aquarius or you are a star. And then the position 2 is Uranus or Uranus. Uranus is the primary ruler of Aquarius. Uranus represents freedom, discovery, innovative thought, inventions, mastery, artistry, musical poetry, and originality. Uranus may expand your mind with new knowledge, adding talent, skills, and star quality to your individuality. The card that you pull for this position will show you your alignment with Uranus. It may be of importance for you to check the alignment with Uranus in your birth chart. Uranus's energy is resourceful and useful, making it an important element that rules over one's life. If you have any resolutions for humanitarian causes, that may come through the card that you pull for this position. If you pull the Star Tarot card for this position, you will know that talent is in your blood. If you are an actor or an actress, with the help of the planet Uranus, one can go from being noticeable to noteworthy. So position 3, Star Essence. The card that you pull for this position shows you your divinationary gifts, talents, ESP, psychic, intuitive, and talents. If you have archetypal connections, planetary alignment, and natural star quality, my bad. This could be revealed to you through the card that you pull for this position. Your star essence or star trait may be hinted to. You may become aware of more gifts and talents than you knew that were there. How social, approachable, and non-judgmental you are may be revealed here. If your star trait and star quality is a very high, you will pull the Star Tarot card for this position. If you are in alignment with your divine life purpose and are in your North Node, you will pull the High Priestess Tarot card for this position. And then you would know that you are in alignment with good fortune. You can also use the Yes and No Answer Tarot card that you pull for this position to help you guide into greater alignment. If you pull the Star Tarot card in the reverse, then you will know that your star trait or star quality is either hidden or the time for fame or good fortune has passed you by. And so the Star Tarot card spell is to manifest a wish. And then I'm going to go to the back of the book and read the star, because I have in the back of the book a compendium of knowledge of what it could mean when the different cards come out next to one another, like the major arcana cards, because that definitely means something. And so I've just taken all of the knowledge that I've had and put it into this so that if you have these different card combinations coming out, you can be like, oh, okay, it could mean this. It's like in the back, the star is one of the... after the devil, the star. There it is. Okay. The star is a card of inspiration, divination, astrology, predictions, prophecy, destiny, dreams, and wishes come true. The star can show you what traits and qualities that you naturally possess. That enhance the quality of your life and the life of those around you. Psychic impressions and spiritual intuition, mental fitness, and powerful third eye awareness. The star has a spark of passion that cannot be put out. When you pull the star card with any other card, it could point to the abilities that you have in relation to the cards that are pulled surrounding the star. If you pull the star and then the Fool card, it could indicate that you are not aware of your star power. If you pull the star in the reverse and then pull the Devil, it could indicate that you need to call back your power and rebuke the devil in your life. The star in the reverse indicates that a mental illness can affect you or the ones that you love. The star in the reverse indicates a loss of hope and a loss of psychic insight into problems. The star in the reverse is an imposter and a copycat or a doppelganger. The star in the reverse has no natural talent and skill. They lack motivation, are insecure, and always doubt everything. When you pull the star in the reverse and then you pull the Devil card, it could indicate that someone is getting their star power through the devil and their fame will be fleeting along with their success. The star in the reverse is lazy, dull, and boring. They do not shine. Damn. Anyways, it's the truth. So check this book out, you guys. It's called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. All you need to start learning to read cards for yourself and for others is the original Rider-Waite deck, Ryderwaite, because for everything that's on this card, like, because this is a major arcana card, the Wheel of Fortune, all of these things have their own card position in the tarot card spread. So you're like integrating the archetype energy and it's like going into a deep dive of the major transitions. All right, you guys, remember the links to these books are in the description box below. Please like the video. Don't forget to hype the video, like the video, share it, tell other people about this content. Thank you for donating. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Peace be with you guys. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.